There is nothing better than booting up a game with low expectations and instead getting blown away. That's exactly what happened with Fighting Force Collection. Don't get me wrong, I was excited for this game, and 30,000 views on my last video says I'm not alone in that excitement. There was one tiny problem, or maybe a huge problem depending on who you asked. That of course was the graphics, and to be more specific, the lack of an upgrade over the PlayStation 1 original. The one and only reveal trailer is a jaggy and blurry mess. This collection is a straight up port and frankly a little bit of a backhand to longtime fans. At least that's what we all thought. Turns out it was a really bad trailer, and not only that, but there's even new features. I had checked the Steam page, official websites and more. I'm actually baffled at their marketing and communications team because they painted a terrible picture. Let me bring you up to date, and after, just fanboy with me because the graphics is not the only surprise here. So I have some split screen comparisons I made and put the trailer up against the actual game running. The difference is shocking. The girls to the left are so pixelated. You would think this is a 2D game and not a 3D brawler. The pic to the right is what you actually get. Let's look at another, and I promise we will move on straight after. I don't even need to point out which is the terrible trailer footage and which one I got in game. So yeah, there is an upscale option that smoothens things out, and it even applies its own anti-aliasing solution. So why did the trailer mislead us so much? Well, the thing is, you can play the game looking like the trailer. It technically was not a lie. The game supports different game filters and modes. You can play with the literal original graphics. You can also mix in 6 different scanline methods and more. My footage is with the upscale mode turned on. I think it looks beautiful now. The problem is none of this was communicated to us. We were left to look at the trailer, and even the game pages made no mention at all of game filters, improvements or anything, and there is a fair bit you get here. For example, you can rewind the game to get out of tight spots. You can quick save whenever you want, and quick load. There is an art gallery, and the whole thing runs at 60 frames per second, doubling the original 30 frames per second. Marketing and communications team, you're killing me. None of these many features and improvements were worthy of mention? Anyway, with that out of the way, let's finally start the review of the first game, and it's a glowing one. My memory is hazy on Fighting Force 1. I just remembered I thought it was a lot of fun, and at some point had it on my PlayStation 1. Reviewers and critics were also pretty harsh on this, painting the picture it's boring and repetitive and didn't evolve anything. Happy to report our hazy memory of loving this game is correct. I had a little run through with each of the 4 playable characters, and it is still so much fun. You are a human weapon. Walking around, punching and kicking everything within reach is a nostalgic blast. The environment is surprisingly very interactive as well. Destroy cars to damage the bad guys with the explosion. After that, pick up the tires and throw them. Pick up loads of different melee weapons. Also, find guns to get some easy kills, and even once you're out of ammo, throw the gun at their head. You are ripping things apart to repurpose as a weapon, and environments have a lot of hidden goodies. A good example is a powerful gun I found by destroying a car which originally is off screen. I missed that bad boy the first few runs for sure. Grabs are fun as well, and there's several different combinations and options. Always looking stylish as it does look painful. A particular flex is how different the 4 characters handled themselves and lends fantastic replay value. Different combos, different speeds, and different amount of damage. Not to mention, they each have their own special move that hurts everyone around them in return for taking a small amount of damage. The camera is normally very close and can obstruct the player's view of their surroundings, but I really dig this. Firstly, because the early days of 3D were obsessed with getting those big polygons as close to the screen as possible, it makes my 3D character and the cool enemies feel bigger. You also have a zoom out button, which can be used strategically to get a quick scan of the area and see where enemies are approaching from. By the way, this channel specializes in weekly retro content and the occasional survival horror coverage. So if this is your jam, smack that subscribe button the way you plan to smack the bad guys in this game. You will feel right at home here. The 90s feel is oozing here and I can't get enough. On the verge of death? No worries. Kick a Coke vending machine and scull a can down to get some health. Destroy wars, items and more. Game has clearly received no censoring. You saw those ladies earlier. You know most modern publishers would never allow that. So big bonus points for staying respectful to your source material. It's nice not to treat your customers like children for a change. Even the simple sound effect of when you land a hit feels impactful, and guess what? Game is not easy. I died many times and frankly, pretty sure I came nowhere near the end when I died with each character, but you know what? I love it. I love that. I get to keep replaying again and again as I gradually adapt to what the game requires from me. I can feel immense satisfaction when I finally beat the game the first time and can look forward to doing it another 3 times with the others. Replay value is not something you really see these days. It's why I love multiple characters, and with everyone feeling different with unique strengths and weaknesses, each run through will be a fun one. The best part? We are only talking one of 2. We have a whole other game to play after. Fighting Force 2 won't be part of this review. I'll give an honest take on that once I have the time to beat it. For Fighting Force 1, I simply needed a quick reminder and the memories came flooding back. Both games are $30 in Australia, so just $15 each, and considering you get quick saves, the gallery, lots of filters to use, and good old upscale mode to really make these graphics pop on our modern displays, I think that this is fantastic value for money, and highly recommend if you were a fan of these games back in the day. Even if I honestly feel some whiplash from a very misleading trailer and complete lack of information in regards to the game in general. I took a chance and was pleasantly surprised, but I guarantee there's a lot of people who gave this game a skip who wouldn't have if they knew what they were getting. I hope they find today's video. At the very least, we now know this is a great collection and not the lazy straight up port we thought we were getting. Great price, great games, clarity for those who want it, and retro filters for those who don't. It's time to party and invite a friend over for some co-op action. I seriously am planning on getting a friend to play this with me. I can only imagine all the fun and yelling we will do together. With that said, God bless you all and see you next time. Bye bye.